Hi boys and girls, let's listen to a story. Title of the story is Who Lives in an Alligator Hole? Who lives in an alligator hole?
What do you know about alligators? That they are scary looking, with big jaws and sharp teeth. What do you think they are good for? Gator wrestling? Being made into shoes, purses and wallets? Being fried for supper? Ha ha ha. Alligators are good for more than that.
Alligators are members of an ancient group of animals called crocodilians. Their ancestors, such as Zoosaurus, were on Earth 160 million years ago when dinosaurs lived. Dinosaurs became extinct, but crocodilians adapted and survived. Today, we have alligator, caiman, gharial, and crocodile. All crocodilians are cold-blooded reptiles. They warm their blood by basking in the sun. Most live in hot, wet places, but alligators can live in a cooler climates than other crocodilians. They are found in swamps, lakes, rivers, and bayous of the southeastern United States. For a long time, people thought American alligators were the only kind in the world. Then, about 100 years ago, alligators were discovered in China. Chinese alligators are shorter and fatter than the American ones. More alligators live in Florida than anywhere else. In the Everglades, there is a wet season when it rains every day. There is also a dry season when it hardly rains at all. The ground is covered with sawgrass and muck. Underneath the muck is mud. Underneath the mud is limestone. Underneath the limestone is fresh water. In some places, there is a hollow in the limestone a few feet deep, where underground water can seep up to the stone. When the alligators discover damp muck, it begins to dig. By thrashing its powerful head, tail and body from side to side, it shoves the thick muck away. Soon, a wide hole fills with water a few feet deep. Then a lot starts to happen in the gator hole. Fish and insects lying dormant in the wet mud wake up and lay eggs. The eggs hatch into more fish and insects. Birds come to eat them. Seeds in the bird droppings sprout. More birds and animals come to eat and drink. When one species changes the environment for its own use in a way that helps other plants and animals, scientists call it keystone species. The alligator is a keystone species. Some animals at the gator hole eat plants. Some are predators that eat other animals. The alligator is the largest. When hungry, it will eat smaller animals. But most of the time, the alligator is not a danger to animals living beside it because it doesn't eat many of them. It doesn't need to. Cold-blooded animals don't need to eat as often as warm-blooded ones. They don't use food to keep their body warm the way birds and mammals do. You know what? In winter, alligators eat only about once a month. If the air temperature drops below 52 degrees Fahrenheit, they can't digest food. On cold and cloudy days, they sleep in the dens, they dig near the water's edge and keep warm. The alligator eats animals that live near it, but not enough to harm the population. In fact, the alligator helps balance everything. It eats raccoons that would have eaten too many birds' eggs. It eats large fishes that would have eaten many small ones. By the time people understood how important alligators were to the environment, there weren't many left. Their skins had been fashionable all over the world for about 100 years. By then, millions of crocodiles had been killed. More and more were being hunted each night. People also thought the wetlands where alligators live weren't good for much, so they decided to get rid of them. Engineers built canals and made dams until much of the wetlands were turned into farms, houses, and golf courses. By the 60s, alligators were on their way to extinction. When a keystone species disappears, the other species that depend on them also disappear. Laws were passed to protect alligators. It became illegal to hunt them or buy or sell their skins in the United States. But poachers still hunted them illegally because people in other countries paid good money for the skin. Finally, many other countries agreed not to buy alligator skins or any products that came from killing them. Now, people understand how important wetlands are to people, plants, and animals. The United States government is now planning to return to the Florida Everglades to its wild state. The American alligator is one of the most successful stories of species saved from extinction just in time. 30 years ago, there were only a few thousand wild alligators left in the United States. Now, there are more than 2 million of them. But its relative in China is one of the most endangered animals on earth. Can you think of ways to save the Chinese alligator too? Please save the alligators. The end. Bye. Thank you for listening.